know some of you were waiting already for me. We're gonna wait a few minutes, let some people start coming in here. I hope, I don't look turned sideways, do I? I can't tell. I'm hoping I'm not sideways. Kind of looks like that on my screen though. Give me a shout. Let me know. Huh? You guys let me know. Do I look turned sideways? I'm hoping not. I'm going to wait a few minutes anyway and let people start coming in.
Oh, thank you.
I do look turned sideways. Great. All right. Let me see if I can figure this out. I set it up correctly.
No, you're right. You're right. It's fine.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. I don't think I was saying what I was trying to say. You guys knew what I was trying to say, but I didn't know what I was trying to say.
You were sideways, but correctly
I was sideways, but correctly sideways. Oh, this old thing? Check this out. This is the Wyld Outdoors coffee mug. Look how cool that thing is. It's even got our Wild Bunch mascot on it. Super cool. So these are limited edition. We ended up getting I think we got 20 of them. We got a few that are spoken for already, so they will be for sale at Wild Camp. But I think we're going to limit them for the Wild Bunch first, and then if there's any left for sale, we'll go ahead and offer them to anybody else that wants them. One per family for our Wild Bunch right now. I know that's not going to be a popular popular thing, but you guys will just have to share them because we do want to make sure that other people will get it. Am I sideways?
Yes. If you put your phone sideways, it's correct, but...
Well, let me see.
Yeah, because like if I have it like this, you know how it normally...
That's not what I was trying to do. No.
There it goes.
Did
nope, it just flipped the screen to the other camera.
Dang it. Alright, well guys, I guess we're going vertical tonight. I didn't want to do that. I always get it wrong. Always get it wrong. I don't know how, but I'm good at getting it wrong. If you got to be good at something. Alright, well, here I am right side up, just narrower.
It looks good on the phone.
Well, I'm sorry. You guys know I'm a mess when it comes to this stuff. But Wild Camp. You know what I didn't do? I didn't bring out, after I wrote all that stuff down, I didn't bring that book out.
I
But
can go get it.
I think it's okay. I think I can kind of figure it out. It's on my desk in there.
I'll hike in and get it.
Sarah's gonna hike in and get it. Sarah's feeling under the weather right now, and so you guys kind of say a prayer for her, because I cannot afford for her to be sick and have to miss Wild Camp, and I'm sure hoping that's not gonna be the case, because what a mess that will end up being. Yeah, unfortunately, like I set the thing up specifically. Miss Deborah was saying that it was sideways, but I set it up specifically for it to be horizontal, and I don't know why it always does that, but it is what it is. I can't help it. You okay?
Yeah, let me fall.
Don't hurt yourself either. Thank you, ma'am. Sarah's always making sure
Oh, I thought you say always falling.
she's making sure I'm doing the right thing, because I will be a mess if it wasn't for her. Before I get started too much into this, I want to say hey to some people. Hey Greg.
Hi, Daddy.
DAV Expeditions. Let's see. Greetings from Jacksonville, Miss Deborah, Randy Beeson, MD Gons 66. I think it's how you. Hopefully that's how you say it. Hike with Mike's in the house, eh? Mr. Grant Jordan, Matt Lowe. Matt said it's all right. You always go a little sideways. I hear you. Matt Barwick. Miss Tori is in the house. Randy said, "How do you drink coffee sideways?" Hey, I pulled it off, right? Donald Mike Gideon says, "Sweet mug." Davis 2 is here. Carl Smith, I see you, buddy. Carl's helping us out with firewood, so if you guys see Carl walking around camp, give him a pat on the back or a $5 bill in thanks for him loading us up with firewood. So Carl's gonna be our firewood sponsor this year. Justin M. I think that caught up with everybody. I did say hey to Robert Bell, I believe. Let's see. Maria from Chicago. MD Gone 66. Okay. Chris Orndorff, my buddy, is in the house. So, Wild Camp. Ticket sales are shut down. We have got all the tickets that we are going to sell. So, very, very happy with the turnout. We originally set a goal. We hit that goal. Then we needed to open more tickets up for more people who wanted tickets. And I'm very, very happy with what we've got. And I think it's going to be a great event. We've got some great classes. If you got a ticket, which I hope you did, if you got a ticket, over the next couple of days, I know next week, or this coming week, is Wild Camp. If you got the Super Supporter ticket, you're going to be there Thursday. So, but over tomorrow and Tuesday, we're going to try to start sending out a couple of emails to the email that you provided when you got your tickets. And, you know, those emails will have little reminders in them and things like that. If you didn't, did you send out the...
I have sent nothing.
You haven't gotten out? Okay. The class schedules and all that stuff we'll do in the next day or two. But also at camp there will be lists of class schedules and things like that. So
the plan is to have it available to view on your phone.
Yeah, so the plan is to have a what is it called? QR code.
Yeah.
And you will be able to scan the QR code and you'll be able to see the class schedules and things like that. We're not necessarily doing a sign up for classes. It'll just, I think, right? Just kind of
I think so at this point.
At this point, just kind of a go to the classes you want to go to. It's not really a huge deal to have a class to sign up. The only one that may need signed up for is your soap making class, right?
Yeah. And I think we may have like a sign-in sheet
Okay.
at the classes just so we know how many people went to each one,
Right.
but there's not going to be like a sign up ahead of time.
Okay. So that way we'll just know who went to the classes and stuff like that. And you guys let me know if you can hear Sarah. Hopefully you can hear her.
I can project it.
She can project her voice. Little known fact, Sarah was an actress in school. She was in plays.
That was a long ass time ago.
But we're going to go over a few questions that people have been posing to me. I'm going to say something. I don't want you to get offended. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But we set up a email. And we've posted it several times and talked about it several times. And it's the wildcampinfo@gmail.com. That's correct, right? wildcampinfo@gmail.com. We initially asked people to send your questions there. That way Sarah and I could field questions. And nobody's done that. A few people have done that.
Yeah, there have been a few.
But there have been a few. But a lot of people have been just like inundating me with a ton of questions, and um, like a lot of the questions are stuff that we have covered in the past. I understand that you need to answer a question, whatever. That's fine.
But please just use
But
that
if
email.
you can just use that email, especially over the next couple of days, because I'm going to be getting so many questions coming in. I bet I got 25 or 30 questions today. And it's kind of hard to remember if you sent the question to Instagram, if you sent the question to my Facebook Messenger or my private messenger. So if you can just kind of send those questions to the wildcampinfo@gmail.com, it would help us out.
And then I can help answer too.
And that way Sarah can field some of the questions, so we're going to go ahead and cover some of the questions today, hopefully, and then, or tonight, and then hopefully that will weed out some of the things that people have been asking about. So, right off the bat, let's talk about check-in time. So, if you got the Super Supporter ticket, the Super Supporter ticket is available, or was available for the Thursday night. So it's a VIP night. We only sold not a ton of those. And so if you got the Super Supporter ticket for Thursday night, the gate will open at 4 p.m. on Thursday evening. If you got the general admission tickets, which was for Friday night and Saturday night, gates will open at 9 a.m. on Friday morning. That's the main reason that we got the Thursday night initially anyway. So you didn't lose the majority of Friday. And then after we did that, we decided, hey, if we've got the night anyway, we might as well make a Super Supporter night, and VIPs could come and enjoy that extra night. So if you're gonna be there late, I've got a few messages from people late arrival that could possibly be late arrivals. We want to try to accommodate as much as we can. I've got somebody that said that they may be there as late as 11 o'clock. That's fine as long as, you can keep it down. People are going to be sleeping by that time, and we want to keep the noise down to a minimum. That being said, I'm going to close the gate at midnight. So if I'm not going to make it by midnight, there's no way that I can leave my home or there's no way that I can make it there by midnight. Go home, get some rest, get up early, and be there right when the gates open on Friday morning, Saturday morning, whatever. The gates are going to close at midnight. I can't have the gate open when everybody's asleep, because we don't want just randos wandering in. I hope that makes sense to everyone.
We're supposed to close it.
Well, the gate is definitely supposed to be closed. And I hope everybody kind of understands that. Not trying to exclude anybody or be a pain in the butt, but if you know you're not going to make it by midnight, get a good night's rest, leave early in the morning, and be there as early as 9 a.m. the following morning. When you get there, if you do get there late, by all means get set up and all that stuff, and the first thing the next morning, come check in with us. That way you get your lanyard and all that stuff, and we make sure we get your head counted, because we need to try to keep track of who's there, who's on site, that sort of thing. Along those same lines, there won't be any ticket sales available on site. The only people that will be permitted are people with tickets. So don't bring your cousin, your grandma, whoever, and say, oh, she's with me, they're with me, because, sorry, they won't be permitted. And I hate to be a stickler about that, but that's the reason we sold tickets. So, um, that is what it is. So just be aware that if you're bringing someone, they have to have a ticket. So, um, and we've got a couple of people that have said, look, the person I bought the ticket for can't make it, but I'm bringing this person. We have the name, we know who's coming. That's fine. That's completely
please let
fine.
us know
But you just
ahead of
need to
time.
let us know ahead of time if there's going to be a change, because we need to have that name down. Um, and like I said, send that to wildcampinfo@gmail.com. So, um, we just want to make sure that we have everything um, as organized as possible, and we just need to know who's on site. Worst case scenario, we need to know who's there. Um, let's see. I got the check-in time. I got the late arrivals. Um, so I had also had someone ask me about, what the site size is going to be like per person. Is there assigned sites and that sort of thing? We don't have assigned sites. So you can get there, you can wander around, you can find your site. However, we're asking that people keep their site as tight as possible. Don't sprawl out over an acre. There's going to be a lot of people there. We're looking at probably close to 150 people, with instructors and everybody that's going to be there. So keep your site tight as you can, and just kind of be considerate to others. When you're setting up, don't don't if you see somebody's stuff set up there, don't squeeze into their space. Let's be considerate. But when you're setting your stuff up, don't just sprawl out everywhere. Try to keep it condensed as possible. Um, the site does hold 250 people, I think. So we've got plenty of room, but let's just be considerate.
Well, and we tried to plan it that way
Right.
so that people wouldn't be on top of each other, so
Yes.
there would be plenty of room. You don't have to get there right at 9 o'clock on Friday.
Mm-hmm. So, just
It is 9 o'clock on Friday.
right.
Okay.
Just keep the sites tight.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of people. That's 3 times as many as.
Yeah, literally. That's the thing that I'm a little. I won't say sketched out about, but I'm a little slightly nervous about, is that this event is 3 times larger than our first event last year, and that's
our second event.
That for our second event, that's a pretty good growth rate, and we put a lot of work into it, but it's still just one of those things that's a little nerve-wracking. So now we are gonna have. This is another question I had about the meals. Saturday night will be a dinner provided. We're doing a taco bar. It's gonna be a provided meal by us, and for us to try to keep waste down and not have to have a ton of bowls and cups and utensils and things like that, we're going to ask that you bring your own plates and bowls and utensils, and we're covering the food, and it's a lot of food, so we're going to ask that you guys bring your own drinks. Last year we provided the meal, all the utensils and everything, and the drinks and stuff included, but that was 50 people. We're talking close to 150 people this time. So with the amount of waste that would produce, we would just prefer if you'll bring your own plates and utensils and your drinks and stuff. So we will have a taco bar. There's going to be a good amount of good food there.
there'll be vegetarian options.
And there will be a vegetarian option. So we try to cover the food. It's a big chunk, so if you guys can just handle the drinks and everything, I hope that's okay with everyone. It is what it is. That's what it is. So that pretty much covers dinner. So the rest of the meals will be your responsibility to take care of. We're taking care of Saturday night, but the rest of your meals will be your responsibility. That being said, you need to make sure that you have a way to cook your meals, whether it's little gas stoves, however you're going to do it, you need to have a way to cook your meals. Now, we will have a community fire pit. We'll have a community fire, and we probably won't burn that fire all day, every day, obviously. That's not going to, we won't be able to have enough wood for that, probably. But, like the evening fires, we're going to have a nice evening fire, you know, you can sit around and enjoy time with your friends and stuff. But if you want a fire at your site, you can do that. But it has to be in a contained fire pit. It cannot be on the ground. So whether you have a fire bowl or one of those mesh fire pits or what have you, one of the little fire pits like I've got, the little Yuko folding flat pack grill fire pits, that thing works awesome, and they're not super expensive. So if you want to have a fire at your site, it has to be in a self-contained fire pit. It cannot be on the ground. They don't want a bunch of little spot fires all over that place and little fire pits, which I understand. That's, you know, completely understandable. So if you guys have any questions too, please drop them in the comments now, and we'll kind of field them as we're going.
Yeah, Kevin wants to know if he can use a hot stove.
What now?
If they can use a hot stove.
Yeah, you can definitely use your hot stove. There, just make sure that you should have something under it so we don't leave a huge burn spot in the grass if we can avoid it.
A solo stove.
Solo stoves should be fine, because I don't think the solo stoves get that hot on the bottom. But that's something that you'll have to, I've never used one. So if you normally use one and it leaves a burn spot on the ground, we need to do something, you know, try to avoid leaving big burn spots and stuff. We got any other ones?
Asking register first, then set up camp. I'll say yes, please.
Yeah, yes, please. So when you get there, come check in, register, and then run off and get your camp set up and get ready to have a good time.
It shouldn't take very long to register.
Yeah, it won't take long. Just come in there, register. There will be a waiver to sign, just in case, you know, you didn't sign it, because it was available to sign online too, right?
No,
it wasn't.
You could view it online and read it. It will be available to sign there.
Okay, so there will be that waiver to sign. You'll sign, check in, all that stuff, and then be able to run off and find your campsite.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason that we limited the number, so that it won't be like you have to hurry up and register and go find a spot, or all the good spots are going to be taken. There's plenty of space. Asking if there will be firewood available on site.
So we will have a amount of firewood there, but that firewood will be for general use in the main pit. So I don't know if, like, you can go gather firewood around as long as it's on the ground, but you can't go cutting down trees and stuff like that, obviously. But there is, on the way in from a couple of different directions, there are places along the side of the road that sell firewood, and they ask that you get your firewood locally. So if you're going to need firewood for the weekend, stop on the way in and grab some firewood. Like I said, we will have some firewood, but it's not going to be enough for everybody. We're not going to be able to provide firewood for everybody's fires, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and you can get Firewood at Publix, Tractor Supply.
Yeah, we found that the Tractor Supply firewood, it's kiln dried. It's like $5.99 a bundle, and that's a good bundle of firewood there. So you know, those are some options too. As far as stores in the area, in the immediate area, there's only a little gas station that has just a very small amount of stuff. Within a few, 5 miles or so, I believe there is a grocery store, if I'm not mistaken. But that's something that I would try, if you can at all possible. Try to make sure you have everything with you when you come. That way you don't have to try to run out and go find some stuff.
Yeah.
And we won't be providing any ice or anything. So if that's something you need to make sure you have ice with you.
So another question, when we'll be able to sign up for classes? Classes will not require a sign up.
Yeah, classes won't require a sign up. You can just go around. Like we said, there'll be a QR code. You'll be able to scan that, or we'll have some printed class schedules up in a few places. And you go through there, you just pick look at it and know the class you want, what time and where it's going to be, and just show up. So,
yep.
One of the things that I will say is I'm going to be doing a class for the kids called What to Do If You Get Lost in the Woods. And if you guys, we're going to send an email out asking, the ages of your children. And that class will pretty much be for 12 and under, the 12 and under kids. So if you guys, we're going to send an email out about that, but if you have a small child that's, obviously not going to work for that class, send us a response and let us know the age of the child and stuff like that, because we're trying to plan how to go about making sure we have the supplies we need for that class. So
Ms. Deborah said, will you have a community fire pit to cook dinners? Yes.
Well, there will be a community fire pit, but I don't know if there will be enough room around the community fire pit for 150 people to cook their dinners. So that will be something you may need to have an option to cook it at your site. But there will be a community fire pit.
Can you bring your own firewood? It just needs to be local.
Just needs to be local is what they're asking. And that's because of, the beetles and things like that. They don't want to, bring bugs in from somewhere else.
And that's a Florida thing.
That's just a Florida State Park thing. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just the rules.
Someone said that there's a Winn-Dixie about 9 minutes away.
Okay, yeah. I knew there was a grocery store close, but I didn't know exactly how far. So
also, there's a standalone machine right across the street from it for ice. So those are very good.
That must be a new development, because I don't remember the ice machine, unless that's
across from Winn-Dixie.
From the Winn-Dixie. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's a good option too. Yeah.
Somebody said, do you need to print out your tickets ahead of time? No, we just need your name for check-in.
Yeah.
If you can pull it up on your phone, I haven't quite decided how to do that, but as long as we have your name and we can look at it for check-in, we don't need anything.
So Sarah's going to have a roster essentially of names of who's gotten tickets and all that stuff. So if you can just maybe have it on your phone, you can print it if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to have a printed ticket. We just need your name and everything so she can check it off the list. Yeah, actually, so it'll be pretty simple.
Well, and with that the app I have, I can check it off on there. There's a whole check-in function. So as long as we have your name.
Yeah, as long as we have your name, I think she's got you covered.
Yeah. John Caraway, are any supplies we will need for the classes like fire building?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any classes that you're going to necessarily need supplies for. Um, Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. So I believe Bodier is going to be doing a tri-stick class. So if you want to bring a stick from home that you can carve a tri-stick, that's up to you. But we can always wander around on site there and find some sticks too, which is not a bad idea, is to wander around and find your own stick to whittle on. So
Yeah. That's a good question though.
yeah.
Carl wants to know, does he need to bring a wheelbarrow to unload wood, or can he pull up to the fire pit?
No, we can actually, yes. If you can, I forgot they've got that area blocked off. If you can bring a wheelbarrow, that'll be fine. I'm sure we can get a few of us together to help you transport that stuff over there. But if you can bring a wheelbarrow, that's fine, because I just remember that
they have that area.
that one area there is blocked off where you can't you can't drive into that one area.
Virginia Bushcrafter said, hi, hello, everyone outdoors. Blackie said, good evening.
Hey, Blackie. Glad to have you in the chat. So fingers crossed. If you guys don't know that, you know, a little while ago, Blackie had a stroke, and he is recovering amazingly from that stroke because he's the man of steel. But fingers crossed, if the doctors give Blackie the okay, he's going to make it to Wild Camp. So we weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it, but he's going to do his best to get there, and we really appreciate him. We're all still praying for you, buddy.
Yes. So correction about the Winn-Dixie is 9 miles away, so it's about 19 minutes. There may be closer options, but still, if you can plan and hit it on the way.
Right. 9 miles, 9 minutes. What's the difference? 10 minutes.
Matt said if they can bring a stick from home for that class, it's about 30 inches long, about the size, diameter around of the thumb, and a knife, that would be great.
Okay.
So if you have it.
Yeah, and that class will be essentially, you're carving a tri-stick, and when you carve a tri-stick, it's typically to get familiar or more familiar with your knife. So that's kind of what a tri-stick is for. You learn what your knife is good for and what it's good at and not good at. So yeah, if you can bring a stick that's, like Matt said, around 30 inches and big as your thumb, then that should work perfect. And bring your knife and some Band-Aids. Hopefully we won't need the Band-Aids.
We've got EMTs,
but
NPs,
we've got
nurses on site.
We've got all kind of folks on site that will be able to help us, I'm sure, if you do get a slight cut or something, but we hope you don't, obviously. But Tampa Jimmy will be doing a class on Stop the Bleed, so if you could wait until after that, then maybe you could just handle it yourself. Got anything else on there?
I don't think so.
Okay, so one of the other questions I was asked was water on site. There is potable water on site, so just make sure you have, a jug for your water, what have you. There is, if I'm not mistaken, there's water spigots around. There's no electricity at the sites, but there is water spigots around for you to get water from. And so you should be able to, handle that pretty easily. Dogs, that's the other one. I've had that question a few times. Yes, you can bring dogs, but the dogs need to be on a leash, and they need to be well-behaved dogs. They cannot be tied up at your vehicle and left. That's for everyone else's safety and peace of mind, and that's for the dog's welfare. We're not going to allow dogs to just be tied up somewhere and left. That's not fair to the dog. We're not going to put up with it. So if you're bringing your dog, that dog needs to be well behaved and on a leash. I think for me, that's all the questions that I had written down. And for whatever reason, my comments on here aren't scrolling, so I can't see any of the comments.
That's pretty much it. Grant Jordan wants to know if Ian will be there.
Ian, he's gonna be there at some point throughout the time. I don't know. You know, Ian's got a new baby and a young baby, and he's a pretty busy fella right now, so I don't know if he's going to be able to camp or not, but he said he's going to be there at some point throughout the event, so I don't know. Fingers crossed he'll be able to come and hang out with us, but at this point we don't have like a class set up for Ian or anything, so.
Grant, I just emailed you back. Thank you for sending the question to the email.
Sarah said she just emailed you back, Grant, and thank you for sending the question over to the email. That really helps. So,
Blackie asked if camping in your truck is okay.
Yep. So camping in your vehicle is fine. The only thing that we don't have room for is like the big, you know, RVs and things like that. We don't have room for that stuff. And there's no like dump stations on site and that sort of thing. So, your car, you know, tents, hammocks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm camping in the.
Yeah, Sarah's going to be in her SUV, so that'll be, you know, shouldn't be a problem at all. So if you haven't watched the video, we have the big hall that we're going to do the dinner in. We're going to do a few classes in that area. Sarah's going to do a soap making class in the kitchen area. I believe our Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group is going to do their presentation inside in that area, and then we're going to leave and do a night hike with them on Friday night. So if that's something you're interested in, try to get there Friday night, because it's going to be a lot of fun. So they're going to bring all kind of stuff to casts to lay out, so you'll actually be able to go take a look at it and see their castings that they've made and stuff. Actually, very, very interesting group of people, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy that. Saturday afternoon, we have Andy Wildlander's going to be talking about his experience on Naked and Afraid, and so that'll be a lot of fun. I know you guys are really interested in that. I've gotten a lot of questions about that. The other question I've gotten a ton of questions on is the bass fishing class. Yes, Kyle's going to be there at the bass fishing class. You'll be able to ask him questions, and I'm sure he'll be glad to just talk to you. He's a nice guy. But he'll be doing a bass fishing class, and a lot of people were excited about that, and I'm glad that worked out really well. To be right there on the lake and everything. If you have your kayak or a canoe and you want to bring it, talk to Kyle about bass fishing, and then go out to the lake and put it to use and see if it works. So that'll be really cool. I'm really happy with that setup. So anything else? Sarah's typing madly over here. So
the name of the place again?
Doe Lake Campground. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, someone else was asking.
Okay, so we will be at Doe Lake Campground. So that's the other thing. We don't have a physical address for Doe Lake Campground, right? It's just
I don't think so, but if you Google, if you put in Google Maps Doe Lake Campground, it takes you.
Yeah, if you put in Google Maps Doe Lake Campground, it will take you to the campground. So
yeah, the address is literally Doe Lake Campground, Umatilla, Florida.
Yeah, so it's Doe Lake Campground in Umatilla, Florida. Google Maps that, and it'll take you right to it. So
Blackie was asking what time they can arrive on Friday, 9 a.m. I told him as an instructor he can get there whatever time he needs to.
Yeah.
Only because he's Blackie.
And instructors too. The instructors are you can come Thursday night.
Yes.
If you're an instructor and you need to come in early and camp, whatever, you can be there Thursday night at 4 p.m. and come in and get set up and everything. So that just to kind of make it easier on some folks. I know that'll make it a little easier.
Yeah. Limited hammock spots, correct?
So there are a good amount of hammock spots, but they will be limited. So if we have 150 people that want to sleep in a hammock, it's going to be pretty tight. But there is areas throughout the place, and even back in the area past the main building and everything, that we can still access. So there is limited hammock sites, but I think we should be fine with that. So, but if you do have a way to set your hammock up without tying to a tree, wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and make that, preparation just in case.
Yeah, don't forget fishing needs a license.
Yeah. So it's a public area. If you are gonna fish, you will need a fishing license. So a Florida fishing license. Just jump on the FWC and get you a fishing license. But we'd hate for somebody to come out there and then get a ticket, from the event. So just make sure you have your fishing license.
They're asking what's the person's name from Naked and Afraid, and what's the episode. I don't know the episode, but it's Andy Wildlander.
Andy Wildlander, ANDIWYLD, Lander, LANDER. So if I'm not mistaken, it's season 16, episode 4. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that's correct though.
It's on, I think, Disney Plus, maybe?
Maybe.
Because it's a Discovery.
Yeah, because it's Discovery, so it might be on.
I put his name in the comments.
Okay, so Sarah put his name in the comments. Andy's a great guy. It's so funny the other day, just a little anecdotal story, I guess. I was working the other day, and I stopped at the store to get a drink, and I look over, and there's Andy's truck, and Andy walking across the parking lot, and he's based out of North Carolina. And it was so funny. I was like, is that an Andy Wildlander? And he turned around and looked. He's like, what the heck are you doing here? But yeah, it was kind of funny the other day, just out of the blue, see him walking across the parking lot here in North Florida. Of course, it's Andy, so he was running off to somewhere to do like permaculture or something somewhere. He's always doing something.
Season 16, episode 4 is what he's got on his.
Yep. Season 16, episode 4. I was correct.
That's what's on his Instagram.
As usual.
Yeah, right.
So we had 15 sponsors for the raffle this year. 15 prize sponsors. And we got everybody on the the banner and everything. And then I went camping this weekend, and our buddy Mark gave us a prize for the or gave us 2 prizes for the raffle, and so we weren't able to get him on the banner. But it is, what was his, Coastal...
Nature Coast.
It was Nature Coast Laserworks.
I think right? So.
And he etched us 2 of these Wild Camp cups. How cool was that? Wild Camp 2024. He made 2 of them. And we will be raffling these off. And there will never be another one like this made. So, there will be 2 of the Wild Camp 2024 cups. Limited edition. Somebody will win. And we really, really appreciate Mark. It's Mark Parshall. I think that's how you say his name. I think he told me it was like Marshall, but with a P. So partial. But yeah, he is very, very generous for him to donate these. And so if you're looking for any sort of etching and stuff like that, get with Nature Coast Laserworks, and he can get you set up. This is like the detail on this is so cool. Like if you just look, if it'll focus on it, just right down here, you can even read the little Rewild Outdoors on the side of it clear, and that's small. So really, really good, really nice work. But
Tori says that they have a cup for the raffle.
Oh.
Tori, if you could email me the details on that so I can make a tag for it, please.
Yeah, if you could email Sarah the details on that cup, Tori, so she can make a little tag for it for the raffle, that would help out. I know that Bushcraft Florida also has some stuff for us. So if you guys, Matt and Bodie, or if you guys could send us the details on what you're going to be bringing, that would help out Sarah to go ahead and get those tags and everything made up in advance.
Yeah, I would like to have everything ready ahead of time.
Sarah, we were sitting in there this evening, sorting and putting everything in piles and all that stuff, and
that's a good
it's far more organized than if I did it. I can promise you that. She has her stuff together. I don't know why my comments aren't scrolling.
Okay, so asking about how much the raffle tickets are going to be. I honestly don't remember. What did we do last year? Because you get 5 with your ticket.
Yeah, you get 5 with your ticket. And I think we did $5 a piece, or 5 for 20. I think's what we said.
Maybe so. I'll have to look. It's whatever it was last year.
Yeah, 5. I think they're $5 a piece, or 5 for 20.
I feel like that's high, but maybe not. We will clarify and send it out.
Yeah, we'll clarify on that and send it out, because it'll be what it was last year. Miss Annette said, if we need help in the kitchen, she can help.
Fantastic.
That will be awesome for the dinner. By the way, I did get my thing to start scrolling.
Oh, okay.
So
so you don't need me anymore.
I no longer need you. I've got my comments scrolling. We will definitely probably need some help here and there.
No, they are $3 each, or 4 for $10.
$3 each, or 4 for $10. That's the correct info, right?
Yes.
$3 each.
I looked at last year's.
Okay. So the raffle tickets are $3 each, or 4 for $10. So and just completely erase all that stuff I said earlier.
2 free tickets with your Wyld Camp ticket purchase. You get 2 raffle tickets.
Is that right?
That's what we had last year.
Because I don't feel like that's what we're doing this year.
Okay, fine.
We need to clarify that, because I feel like
did we change it?
We changed that, but
well, that's what we'll clarify.
We'll clarify, and we'll send the email out on the raffle ticket stuff, because I don't feel like that's what we decided. Davis 2 said, gotta admit, I'm pumped for this. It's my first time ever coming to an organized camp event like this. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, one of the reasons that we wanted to keep it small-ish is because we want that family atmosphere feel. We want people to meet new people and maybe find somebody new to camp with, or find somebody new to fish with. Make some new friends. We kind of wanted to keep it that smaller family atmosphere, so it doesn't click up, if that makes sense. I don't want there to be this clique and that clique and these people, everybody just staying in their own little groups. The whole goal for this event to start with was to meet new people, and that's what we want to keep. We want you to meet new people and making new friends, and just sharing knowledge and information and learning new stuff. And that's the whole goal for this event. And by all means, to get your kids involved, and that's what we want you guys to be doing too. So I think that's all that I've got for tonight. You have anything else? Is there anything else that I forgot to mention here?
Just that we will be sending out periodic emails up until camp with more information, class schedule.
Right. So we will definitely be sending out
that's a good
those
question.
emails. What?
Will we have any of our Rewild gear for sale or event shirts for sale?
So we won't have any event shirts on site for sale. That was through our online store at crowdmade.com, and unfortunately it takes probably 2 weeks to get your shirt. So if you ordered one now, it wouldn't come in until after the event. We won't have any of that available. I think there will be some patch hats available for the event. There will be like some.
We will have a Rewild merch store.
There will be a little merch store there. There will be some what do you call it? Stickers available. There will be what is the other thing? The koozies.
We're gonna have koozies,
buttons, lanyards. There will be some stuff there, but unfortunately, we won't have T-shirts available.
It's just too difficult.
It's too much. And Grant said Mike Wims. Unfortunately, guys, Mike's not going to be able to be with us this time, and you guys, please keep Mike in your prayers too. I don't know if I should even say it, but
he posted it on Instagram.
Mike's mother passed away, and just keep Mike in your prayers, because they'll be laying her to rest on the weekend of Wild Camp, and he's not going to be able to come. And I absolutely hurt for him. My heart's broken for him. I've been through it myself, and it's just a very, very hard thing. And we're praying for him, and we hope you guys will pray for him too. So Jeff said, "What's the weather looking like?" So the last I saw, which you know how weather fluctuates. The last I saw, it was going to be 40s to 60s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Davis 2 said, weather looks great so far. 5 to 7% chance of rain Friday and Saturday. Lows in the mid 50s. So if it's lows in the mid 50s, that's not too bad. Sunday is a 15% chance of rain. So we'll have to, that's the other thing. So Sunday, we've got to be packed up and out of there by noon. Is that what it is? 11. By 11. So we'll have to be packed up and ready to head out by 11. So just keep that in mind and just be conscious of that time frame for us. We don't want to run anybody off, but you know what they say, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay there after 11. We got anything else? Oh, somebody's giving us a bunch of hearts. But anyway, it's going to be a great time. I know it is. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And it seemed like it took forever to get to this point. And then over the last 2-3 weeks, it seems like it's just flown by. Mm-hmm. It seemed like we started talking about it, and it's like, golly, that's so far away. And now it's right here on us. So it's going to be a great time. So just the only other thing I would say is just pack smart and be prepared. You know, make sure you have clothes and gear that's going to be adequate for the temps. If it's going to be lows in the mid 50s, just prepare for that. But I would prepare for it to be colder just in case, because you know how the weather changes. Just, you know, pack accordingly. So we will have a small general merchandise store set up too. What did you say? Essentials? An essentials store that will have, you know, some of the stuff that you may have forgotten. We're going to have some of that stuff. It won't be a ton of stuff, but we will have some of that stuff. So if there's something you're missing, we'll figure out what the time frame is going to be for the store. But or come to me or Sarah and say, hey, this is what we're missing. and we'll try to get you set up to where you can go, you know, see if we've got what you need anyway. On-site bathrooms, there is flushing toilets. There is a hot shower. So bring your towels with you. You don't have to sweat and be sweaty. So bring your towels and everything you'll need for that, and you'll be able to have a camping experience with the luxuries of a hot shower. So we tried to make sure that was one of the things that we were looking for in event or in the
at the
venue. That's what the word I was looking for. Was hot showers and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons too that we ended up having to be in December. So Jazz says, hi guys, hey, how are you doing? Grant said, will you be playing your guitar? So that's the other thing I was going to say. I'll be bringing my guitar. And so if you play an instrument, acoustic instrument, obviously, we're going to be jamming around the campfire. So if you want to bring your instrument, come in, sit down, play some songs, and we will have a great time around there. So we'll just kind of, or we can pass the guitar around, people can play, whatever. But if you bring a little, if you play an instrument, by all means, bring it and let's have a jam session. It'll be a lot of fun. Stitch, hey buddy, how you doing? I know you probably just came over from Tony's or jumping in from Tony's, and I hate to be on at the same time as Tony, but we kind of needed to do this live tonight to get the info out there. So I think that's going to cover us.
I think so.
Think so?
I was trying to find where we talked about the raffle tickets, but we'll have to look.
Yeah, we'll look at it and figure out the raffle ticket thing, and then we'll send that to the emails. Like I said, just be prepared over the next couple of days. We'll start hitting you with, some update info and all that stuff for the camp. So you know how that goes. So just be ready for that. We won't spam you with anything, but you're going to be getting some wild camp info updates. So send your questions to wildcampinfo@gmail.com. And I think if that's everything we got, appreciate you guys watching tonight. And I hope to see every one of you there. It's going to be a great time. Let's see. Davis 2 said the only night as of now that looks low is Thursday night at 41. Okay. So we'll be prepared for that. So appreciate everybody watching, and hope to see you guys there. And be prepared. And y'all have a good week. Stay safe. See you at Wild Camp.